So just a quick background on me. So I served in the military for 22 years. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you served. Raise your hand if you served. So that we all know what it's about when we talk about we are there to protect the Constitution of the United States. So let me just share some stuff with you that was going on in the background, right? So obviously I saw it on Gabe's Facebook page and hearing it from other constituents as well, you know, within the community, saying, hey, when are you going to hold the town hall? When are you going to hold the town hall, right? Tyler Owens, who's his chief of staff, I mentioned the flyer. By the way, great job whoever put this town hall together. Please give them a round of applause. I told him straight up, I said, and this was back on March 13th, I said, you know, it's here in North Glen, and I think his office, I think Gabe's office is right next door, right? So I said, my mind goes towards the city itself and the safety within. I said, my recommendation would be to put something out there stating a town hall is in the works, but people need to be patient. I think that may help alleviate some of the safety concerns I'm thinking about with North Glen. Hear me out. His response, quote, I'm sure they will be loud, but I can't imagine it would get rowdy or dangerous unless we show up to be honest. Ha. So part of that, too, I'll tell you, I had a conversation finally after I talked to Tyler about a week later, because, well, first off, I told Tyler I feel disrespected as a council member that you're talking to me versus my representative, because a congress member himself. So I talked to Gabe. I finally talked to him. I talked to him last Friday. I think it was Friday or Friday before. I tried to have a decent conversation with a man to tell him, hey, here's what all the things that are going on. Here's the problem that we have. And essentially, at the end of the day, I felt like I got shunned. It was sad, right? So I myself, I am an unaffiliated voter, but I also know the difference between right and wrong. Do we all know that Greg Mills is the mayor of Brighton? Do we know that he actually works for Gabe? Well, now you do if you don't. Whoops. So as I told Greg Mills, I don't have a problem saying anything that I say while I'm sitting on the dais to their face. So I'm going to meet with Greg and let him know that. Let him know how much of a conflict of interest I feel that it is, that other constituents feel like it's a conflict of interest as well. Yep. The other part, too, I think about is that obviously at the federal level, how the hell is President Musk in charge and you got the orangutan sitting there? So I think about, like, for example, for military veterans, right? They're talking about doing cuts for military veterans. I also think about the cuts that's happening with DEI, anything dealing with DEI, right? I actually read on Ground News, right? They show the left, the right, and the center news about what that is. And Ground News talked about they removed the history of the Tuskegee Airmen. Yep. They removed who the first female Marine Corps enlisted member was. They tried to eliminate Jackie Robinson out of it, too, apparently. And I also wondered, what the hell is... I guess my question would be is how is someone's gender, how does that affect them as far as doing their job, their profession?
Yeah, they removed the code talkers.
I say that because so many years ago, former troop of mine, he at the time came to me and says, listen, I'm looking to switch. And he told me the reason why, told me everything else. And honestly, the two things I told him, one is, I don't give a damn what you're going to be. Number two is, I care about what's up here. How well you do your job, because that's all that matters as far as when you're in the military.
All right.
Nowadays, she has been very successful in the Air Force. It was quite shocking to me, obviously, seeing that they were trying to ban transgender military members. But then recently, I saw the news that came out. The federal courts, I think, told them, you're going to have to reverse that. So to me, I saw that as a big fuck you. Pardon my language, God. Sorry. But again, how does any of that affect our current cost of living? The only thing I could think of, and I've told my wife this too, is I feel that the orangutan himself probably got turned down by a transgender member, so now he's taking it out of them. But anyways, I will leave you with this. We all have a constitutional right. We are here, we are demonstrating, we are obviously ashamed at the fact that our representative is not here. And it's shameful to me to hear from other council members as well outside of the city talking about how they are treated as well. So kind of with that said, I want to say thank you.
Thank you.